was caused by Kevin Iben after the completion to Desrivaux. Iben comes in with the hit from the backside. Kenny Heatley, the beneficiary. Argos get pretty good field position out of this one. Can they take advantage?
Joseph pitching one out to Bethel Johnson, short of the first down. Again, though, he's facing a lot of heat. Kerry Joseph throwing with a lot of red jerseys around him.
Well, the way this Montreal defense is playing reminds me a lot of the way Toronto's defense used to play. Bring a lot of pressure. Seems oftentimes there's one more man coming in the pass rush, then they have blockers to pick it up, and then the secondary and coverage is there right away to make the tackle.
Joseph taking it himself and getting the first down, and a good play call. Looked like he had no intention of throwing it. Kind of bootlegging out there. And a first down for Toronto.
And this is a nice heads-up play by Bethel Johnson, as well as Kerry Joseph is on this scramble. He was out in front on the play. And Johnson is a guy, as a receiver, you've got to cover him for a while. Johnson knows that with TJ Hill, so he turns up. Hill's got his back to the quarterback, Joseph, so Johnson just keeps running, knowing that he's pulling that defender out of the way. It's as effective as a block.
Kerry Joseph is the Argos rushing leader this season. Has time now. Joseph now has to scramble. Still more time. Lets it go into traffic. And almost through the uprights, looking for Reggie McNeil. There were 4 defenders around McNeil.
Well, 4 Montreal defenders deep, but there's a brief time here as you see Reggie McNeil running across the back of that end zone, a brief window where he is wide open, but because of the pressure, Kerry Joseph was unable to get his eyes downfield, get his feet set to get the ball deep enough to his receiver.
Montreal crowd into it, calling for their defense to hold. 2nd and 10. Joseph to the middle again and looking for Andre Talbot. So the best the Argos will do here is 3 points.
This Argo offense and trying to make something happen, maybe pressing a little bit. You look at the coverage on this play that Kerry Joseph throws into. Andre Talbot, he's an inside receiver. Talbot goes on that post route, but you look in this situation, 4 Montreal Alouettes closing in on that football. The ball thrown right into the middle of it.
A couple of plays where they really might have been best to go for 10 yards at a time here. Another drive stalls, but another field goal from Mike Vanderjack makes it an 11-point game here in the 3rd quarter in Montreal. To win a trip to the Grey Cup, which will be held here in Montreal. Wouldn't the Alouettes like to be here?
Well, Rod, we've talked so much about the rivalry between the 2 teams. These guys playing each other so much. There you saw Davis Sanchez and Mike Vanderjack. They played against each other so much. Sanchez knows Vanderjack's routine after he makes a kick. So he joined in with him.
Jamel Richardson trying to burst outside. Hog tied out there. Kenny Heatley out there. So the Argos only get 3 points after the turnover by Danny Desrivaux and the Alouettes. 10.5 minutes to go here in this 3rd quarter. Lots of time left.
Well, lots of time left, but the way the Montreal Alouettes have eaten up time on this clock so far, Toronto can't afford to end drives with field goals.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. Calvillo again in the shotgun. Hands off to Emo. Mike Emo. Mike O'Shea moving closer to the all-time tackle record again by Willie Pless. O'Shea's 2nd all-time. Came into the game with 1,121. Future Hall of Famer, and again did not see much action last week, but Rich Stubler said after, credit Mike O'Shea for a guy who's a veteran. You know, he didn't gripe about it, didn't talk about it, just knew that his team got the W, and that was most important.
And that's exactly what you'd expect from Mike O'Shea, the professional that he is and the team leader that he is.
Alouettes have done a nice job containing Dominic Dorsey so far here today. 4 times he's been named Special Teams Player of the Week. And again, fumble! Alouettes say they have it. And again, the Argos and Alouettes going at it away from the play. The official trying to get into this scrum to make a signal. Pulling bodies away. Who's got the football? And they are saying it is Toronto football. Jake Ireland makes the call. Anwar Stewart comes up with the football and wants an explanation of why he has the football, and it goes to Toronto.
Watching this coverage, Shea Emery, the rookie, who's been fantastic all year, and Diamond Ferry are the guys who get in there. Ferry strips the ball as Emery holds him up. Then let the games begin at the bottom of that pile.
There is a challenge flag that has been thrown now. Mark Trestman throwing the challenge flag.
No doubt Anwar Stewart was lobbying as he came up with the ball in the end, but who knows what went on in the middle of that pile.
There's a penalty flag as well. These guys have been chirping at each other since that ball was fumbled. Well, you might have to call CSI for this. I'm not sure that you could see anything there.
I don't know if Grissom's going to help you on this one.
Let's take another look again. Jake Ireland will come over and chat with Mark Trestman.
And the key to remember all the time, Stewart's the first man in, but in that position it doesn't look like he has the ball. Remember all the time on reviews, the key is to overturn a call, the evidence has to be conclusive. And in that mess, I don't know if anything's going to be conclusive.
So Jake Ireland trying to sort things out here. Clearly, Anwar Stewart came out of the scrum with the football, but I think a lot of stuff was happening underneath there.
You have no idea what Anwar Stewart did or to whom he did it in order to gain possession of that football.
This comes at a critical juncture in the game. 9.5 minutes to go, and the Alouettes really dominating this game in so many ways.
The ruling on the field was that the kick returner was encircled and pushed back prior to the fumble. Montreal is challenging that ruling.
So the suggestion to me is that with the forward progress stopped, that the play was dead before the ball was fumbled. Montrealers arguing that that wasn't the case. You're going to see Dominique Dorsey catch this ball. Shea Emery, number 41, and Diamond Ferry, number 40, both get their hands on him and wrap him up.
Oh, ball comes loose.
That ball is out so early.
Yeah. And then again, who has it? There's the other thing. I mean, who really has the football down there? But that is.
There was no way that play was over.
No, that's definitely a fumble. Diamond Ferry was doing all this celebrating. He might have been best to just go after that football. And in the end, Anwar Stewart had the pigskin.
Veteran moves underneath there.
And underneath there is Jake Ireland. Dominic Dorsey, who has been exceptional this year and really throughout his career, returning the football. That doesn't happen very often to him.
Well, here you see there, to say that his forward progress was stopped, he was hit and the ball virtually came out immediately. Bear in mind, you're seeing that in slow motion, and the ball still was out very quickly.
Now, Jake Ireland was the official who immediately, you know, after it was settling down, he was the first guy to say it was Toronto football.
And for Montreal, when you look at the field position here, this is an obvious situation in which you're going to challenge. This could be a huge swing.
After review, the ball carrier fumbled the ball prior to being encircled and driven back. Montreal recovered the ball directly. Therefore, it is Montreal ball at the 20-yard line. However, with an objectionable conduct penalty, Montreal number 95. The ball will be back 10 yards. First down, Montreal.
Devon Claybrooks, after the play, again, they got into it. But a huge play and a huge turn here. And a good challenge by Mark Trestman.
Very smart challenge from Mark Trestman. Understanding the situation, interpreting the call to realize what it was that the ruling was on the field. And just saw Jake Ireland in discussion with Argos head coach Rich Stubler. You have to believe that Stubler is questioning whether they could actually review that particular situation.